allowing my life to be built into what was always designed for me. I just believe that we're exactly where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there, always. And if you're in a space where it's like, hold up, I'm not supposed to be here, I still feel like you were supposed to be there to learn that lesson, that like, hold on sis, you made a wrong turn, back it up. Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Kyrah. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you are not here, thank you so much for coming back. So I'm actually sitting in my car right now because there's a plane flying over, so you might hear a little bit of noise. The lighting in my house is not great, but I had some things that I wanted to say, some stuff on my mind, so I figured like I would just get in the car and do a little video. I'm not gonna keep y'all too long. I honestly really just wanted to come, like I said, chat about some things that crossed my mind earlier. For those of you who don't know, I moved back home. I talked about it in my last upload, so if you haven't seen that video, you can definitely go check it out. I did my hair and my skincare and just caught up on life in general. And some things I was thinking about that's been on my mind a lot lately is like, I feel like so much of our lived experiences, I can only speak on behalf of myself, so much of my lived experiences was spent focusing on the goal or the destination, right? Rather than enjoying the journey. And I know you hear people say about that all the time, like the goal is the journey, not the destination. I don't know what the quote is, so to speak. But anyway, like I said, I wrote some notes because I want to try and stay on topic, and I want to try and, you know, do this quick and concise. Y'all know I can chat a little bit, so I'm trying to just keep it cute, but I really just kind of need to get this off my chest. I was really in a space spending my whole, for as long as I can remember, I'm really talking more so about like from high school to where I'm at now, which puts me at, let's say from when I was like 15, I'll be 25 this month. So let's say like, I'm just thinking about the past 10 years, right? Like thinking about the fact that every move has been about the destination, whether it's graduating high school, whether it's about getting into college, graduating college, getting a job, going to grad school, you know, like I was in this space of just really focusing on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and really focusing on the destination and not really taking the time to enjoy the journey. And I talked about this in my last video, but at the top of this year, I moved, and my thought process behind it was that I wanted to have a home that was bigger and nicer and better than my apartment, an apartment better than the apartment that I was living in last year. I wanted to just continue to level up. Like I thought, you know, the way that life is supposed to work, it's just supposed to keep gradually going up. You're not going to have, you know, the hills and valleys, so to speak, which is not true, okay? What I really was just thinking about is the fact that I really built a life on what I desire from an ego base. And I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel really called to say this because when I think about the fact, I gotta put the windows down, y'all, it's hot, like nobody's doing this. Right now I'm at this space that feels like ground zero. I have wrote in my notes ground zero. It just came across my mind, came across my spirit. I built a life, I did all the things I was supposed to do, and then I got where I was supposed to get, and I naturally started trying to get more and more and more and more, and had to really sit with myself, like in the realest way, about the fact that I wasn't happy. Like, and that's, again, I talked about that in my last video. That's a whole thing in and of itself, but like, I just wasn't happy. I felt more isolated and more out of harmony than I had ever been, because I felt where my spirit was leading me to, and I felt where I was being divinely led, like what I was being divinely led to do, but it wasn't aligning with, you know, these goals to make more money and get a bigger crib and move and shake, you know what I'm saying? Like just stuff that's very ego driven. So what I'm realizing in this whole like ground zero thing is that I built this life for myself on ego, and don't get me wrong, there were absolutely divine aspects in it. Me going through my healing journey, me experiencing the loss of my father in the physical and going through that grieving process really woke me up to a lot of these things that I'm talking about right now, and really started to just get me to think deeply and want to take better care of myself and want to be more conscious of my energy and how I spend my time. And so those aspects were all intertwined, but I was still so conditioned to move off of the next best thing in the ego that like I built this foundation, I built this illusion, I'm gonna, dare I say. It just dawned on me, I knew that moving back home was going to be, it was super intentional, and I knew that moving back home was going to be transformative for me. I knew that it was going to be big. I knew that it was gonna like close a lot of chapters and start new ones. What I've realized now that I'm in ground zero, like I said, or at ground zero, is that I literally made a conscious effort to tear it all down so that it can be rebuilt and it can be made anew. And I just was recognizing that like there were aspects of God and aspects of the Most High in how I was building prior to, but it wasn't rooted in that. It was like once I was really going through my healing journey and really being committed and serious to it, I was so peaceful in that state. I still feel such a level of peace, but I was really embracing that. But I had been so conditioned to like having to be in the ego, like my ego being in the driver's seat is, I guess what you could say. It's funny because I'm sitting in the driver's seat right now, but my ego being in the driver's seat of the decisions I make and thinking like, okay, I'm gonna let this play out in divine order, but I'm still gonna make a decision based on blah blah blah. Like I still need to make a plan. So that's not really operating in divine order, you know, like that's not really true to what I said that I wanted to do and the intention that I was setting for myself. And so I just know that me being home is going to be so transformative because of the fact that it's like I scrapped all the stuff that I thought it was supposed to be, all of the ego stuff of, like I said, the nicer apartment and, you know, the appearance of having more and striving to get the next best fancy car immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think there's anything wrong with aspiring to have these things, but I do think it's really important to understand where that aspiration is coming from, what it's rooted in, and also recognizing that things are not the material tangible things are not, you know, the deepest desires. My deepest desire is to be peaceful. My deepest desire is to be rooted and to surrender truly to the divine order over my life and just allow everything to play out as it should. And my deepest desire truly at this phase in my life is to exist in spaces as authentically as possible and just find those spaces for me and where I am now at this phase on my journey where I can be the fullness of myself, right? Like building friendships and building relationships where I can be the most authentic version of myself and I'm celebrated for being authentic, where I don't feel like I need to be something that I'm not, or I feel like I need to alter parts of myself to feel like I fit in. And that's not anything that anybody externally is doing to me by any means or has done to me. It's a thing of just about getting clear on how I show up in the world and just recognizing that like some of the spaces that I was showing up in, a lot of the spaces that I was showing up in on this past, like I said, we'll call it 10-year journey, in this past phase of my life, this past chapter, which has officially closed, okay, we turned the page, like we're not going back, we read that chapter already. Some of the spaces and experiences that I was in and the spaces that I was entering, it was from a place of me feeling like I needed to be a certain way in order to be able to fit into those spaces, or I needed to have certain things to be the idea of what successful or poppin' or popular, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's really what I was thinking. And I just like, I'm looking at my notes because like I said, I'm trying not to make this too long and I'm trying not to be too like, because y'all know I can go on and on and on. But yeah, I was just really recognizing that like I was still driving the ship from my ego. And now this new phase of life that I'm entering, I've said this like 25 times already, but I swear to y'all, the energy of 25, me turning 25 is so symbolic, so transformative. So many people talk about quarter life crises and like, you know, just the things that come when you're turning 25 or once you turn 25, stuff that just starts to set in and hit a different way. And I can definitely say that I resonate with that and I feel that in my spirit. except for the fact that I'm not looking at this as a crisis. I'm looking at this as like a complete rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Like a complete rebuild, just a new journey, like a new journey where I'm able to take the lessons that I learned from my previous chapter and apply them in this chapter, and really be committed to allowing my spirit to lead me and allowing myself to be spiritually led and go with the divine order and go with divine timing, honor those concepts and trust that, like heavy on trust it, and not feel like, oh well, I gotta figure it out because I don't know what's about to happen. Like, no, just chill. Like right now, me being home, I have financial goals, and this is what I wrote down, like just really spending this time discovering me and how I exist in these spaces where I bring the fullness of myself forward, and also not being in a space of feeling like, you know, I can't exist in a space because not the dog. Also not being in a space where I feel like I can't, you know, bring the fullness of myself forward, or like I also went through a brief phase where I felt like, damn, like now that I'm coming more into awareness on how I exist in the world, like I don't want to be in a lot of these spaces, which is still true. Like it's definitely still true that there's a lot of stuff that I used to get into, or just a lot of spaces I used to be into that I'm not interested in anymore. But I think now more than ever, it's about figuring out like, how can I maintain the fullness of myself and the divine calling over my life and still exist in spaces, right? Like, and recognize that. I saw Lauren London say this in an interview, and it was so powerful, just about she sets her intention. She wants to influence her environment. She doesn't want the environment to influence her. So that's my thing. Like, rather than trying to put myself in a little box and like this please don't touch box and stay over here and not get to enjoy my youth, get to enjoy my 20s, and get to enjoy like the best of my life, which is the right now, because that's all I have, you know, like, and be put in a box or be somewhere not wanting to go out or not wanting to socialize with people. It's like, no, I'm here. It's really just about how can I show up in a way that allows me to be all of me authentically, no matter what space I enter. And that really just comes from self-love in the realest way. All of these things that I already was practicing, and things that I already felt that I had, but there was still some ego mixed into it, so it wasn't pure. It's all about self-love, valuing myself, having confidence in myself, knowing that I matter, knowing that I'm worthy, and all of these things being rooted spiritually, not being rooted in an ego-based way, like in the purest way, in the deepest form. That's really what it is to me. I'm so excited for this new chapter in my life, and I'm just so excited for what is in store for me. I'm super excited to continue to build and cultivate relationships and friendships and new relationships with people from a real authentic place, because I'm able to be all of myself, which I've always been to the level of understanding that I had about myself. But now that I have this really clear understanding of myself, it's like being able to build relationships, build friendships, build a network of people, of women. I'm super excited to just build up like my girl gang, build up my sisterhood around me, and to really be rooted in people that are also being committed to the highest version of themselves and who are following the divine order over their life. I'm super excited about that. I'm going to CultureCon on Saturday, and I'm super excited. The intentions that I've set for that are really to be the most authentic version of myself, to be open and receptive to seeking mentorship, to connecting with people that will be relationships that will last a lifetime, getting to meet and network with some ladies from my area, and just ladies on the East Coast that I'll be able to continue to connect with once the conference is over, and just continue to cultivate those relationships. But yeah, so right now, as I said, I am in complete surrender mode. I'm surrendering the way that I was doing things from an ego-based way, and really allowing my spirit to lead me, so that I'm approaching everything from the time that I open my eyes in the morning when I'm blessed to wake up for another day in the rising, to the time that I close my eyes at night, no matter where I go, whether I'm with my family, whether I'm with my friends, whether I'm with my mom's side of my family, my dad's side of my family, whether I'm with new people that I've never met, whether I'm interacting with my colleagues at work, you know, just being committed to bringing forth the best of myself through being spiritually rooted. And yeah, just allowing myself to flow with the river and be built into allowing my life to be built into what was always designed for me. I just believe that we're exactly where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there, always. And if you're in a space where it's like, hold up, I'm not supposed to be here, I still feel like you were supposed to be there to learn that lesson, that like, hold on sis, you made a wrong turn, back it up, you know? So like, that's what I think. This chapter of life is all about discovering myself in the most raw and authentic way. I have financial goals for myself that I want to accomplish. You know, I have spiritual goals that I want to accomplish. I have consistency goals, fitness goals, content creation goals, and my goal in all those things is to be the highest, best version of myself at all times and bring the best of myself forward. So I'm definitely excited to see, you know, just how this journey unfolds, and just really honoring sacred womanhood and honoring divine womanhood in 100%. And I recognize that I'm not saying this like, okay, you know, and then I'm going to turn this camera off and everything's going to be butterflies and rainbows. Like, no, you're absolutely still going to have hills and valleys. Like, that never ends. I just think that being really real with myself and setting that intention, that as I continue to move forward, I constantly have that compass. So like, when I feel myself drifting into that space, that's like, hold on, Kyrah, like you're not keeping it 103. It's like, reel it back in, you know, like, hold on. When I start to feel myself doing things that aren't authentic to who I am called to be, or if I start feeling like insecure and start having a lot of internal mental chatter, it's like, hold on, bring it back, reel it back in, right? Allowing my intuition to lead me, allowing myself to just be spiritually led, and knowing that when I move from the pure place in my heart, and that when I move from these good intentions, I can't do wrong. So the biggest thing is just not being focused on the destination, really just embracing the journey. And I just have full trust. Like, I just have this deep sense of peace and knowing that this next chapter of life is going to be amazing, and that the experiences that I'm going to have on this journey are going to be more than I could have ever imagined. Like, if I were to have a destination and focus on it, I don't want to do that again, in terms of like, okay, this is where I'm trying to get to, and then you realize you get there and it's like, hold on, this is not it. So I'm just excited to see how this unfolds, and from operating out of a place of surrender and out of my highest vibrational self, I'm just excited to see, you know, how this unfolds and where the journey leads to. And I think mostly just enjoying the moments. Like, moment by moment is what makes up your present. It's what makes up your future. It's what made up your past. So I'm just excited to be in the moment. I'm excited to share love and share light and be a light, hopefully, to others, be a light for myself, and be inspired by other young women who are out here moving and shaking, other, you know, elders in the community and contemporaries in the community that are pillars for, you know, these amazing character traits that we all desire to have. And just holding that space and being open and allowing myself to be vulnerable and letting my heart lead me, and just doing stuff that, like, if 15-year-old Kyrah was watching this video, she would be like, I know you effing lying. Like, who is that? You know? So, yeah, I'm excited, and just, I just want to be honest, and I want to share this love with y'all that I'm feeling, and that's all I got. So definitely leave a comment down below if this video resonated with you. Definitely let me know. I would love to hear about your journey and just where you are on your journey. We're all just trying to figure it out, and don't ever feel the pressure to be perfect or feel the pressure to keep up with the appearance of how somebody else seems to be doing, because we all got problems, we all got things we're dealing with, you know, and just be the best version of you. I just encourage everybody to be committed to being the best version of you, and knowing that when you do that, you can't go wrong. So that's it for my little card chat, my little tilted dashboard. I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. Whenever you see this, I hope you know that you are loved, and I hope that you bring the best of yourself forward in every experience, and set your intention. If you're also turning 25, or if you're 25 right now, holla at your girl, okay? Like, I'm taking inventory. I want to know. Like, I definitely want to connect and network with y'all, so definitely let me know. I'm looking forward to it, and until next time, I will see you guys later.